love all of you guys. Remember that all day long when I'm yelling at you. 1, 2, 3.
Every day, far too many veterans are lost to suicide, and thousands more are suffering alone and in silence. We are Team 1 Mile, and we've assembled 8 riders and a crew to race 3,070 miles across America. Why take on the toughest bike race in the world? We're not doing it for glory or recognition. We're not doing it to set any records or win a medal. We're doing it to bring these veterans purpose, to help them battle the effects of PTSD, addiction, depression, and thoughts of suicide. As Team 1 Mile works together to overcome blistering heat, big mountain climbs, no sleep, and fatigue, we can inspire those suffering in silence and show them they aren't alone, and we can overcome anything together.
If we talk about Team 1 Mile, which is really the first action step and the first tangible event of the community of 1 Mile. So Team 1 Mile is just that. You break it down into several different components. It's an 8-person riding team, cycling team. So we had to find 8 riders. And again, we were looking for some diversity. We didn't want to find the 8 best riders. So we had 8 riders, and then around that riders, you have to build your crew. And because it's a 24/7 race, you have to, in a sense, build one crew and then double it. You think of drivers and navigators and someone who's going to cook and someone who might help do dishes and just all these support people, and that's great. If you were just doing it during the day, it'd be really simple. But we needed to have a day shift and a complete night shift. Then the logistics side of it for RAAM is extremely complicated. The 3,070 mile route is a designated route. It's not just getting from one side to the other any way you want to. It's a very formalized route with a lot of rules. Fortunately, most of the individuals said yes first before they knew what they said yes to. And we chuckle about that, and we still chuckle about it because it can sound really exciting, and then it's like, well, wait a minute. We're doing what? And how slow and how far? And then for the drivers, you got to find a navigator. So then a navigator really is just that. It's that co-pilot, it's that person that has to be sitting there helping you determine all the things. The rules, the directions, the pace, making sure that everything is coordinated, where the gas stations are, where we're stopping, where the time stations are that you have to check into. So there's a lot of logistics on there.
We are down a bus right now. It's still in Texas. It's the one that's got the wrap on it. We have another bus that's hopefully supposed to be in today.
It should be here by 9 o'clock.
So it should be. We are going to prep that bus like it's going to be our bus. If we get the other bus at some point in time, by tomorrow the start time, or maybe somewhere in freaking Arizona, good to go, all right? Semper Gumby, always flexible, all right?
Cyclist race across.
With all the unknowns, you're looking at all the what ifs. And what ifs can go from cars breaking down to bicycles in accidents to health issues, people getting sick. All these things that you have to play the what if game, and you have to have several vehicles because you have to have a vehicle that is basically following the riders at all time for safety. So you've always got kind of what we call a follow vehicle. You have a vehicle that has to do all the transitional side, and that's the one that holds the riders and the bikes, and they're a little bit up front, switching in and rotating out. Then you have to have a third vehicle typically, and that's kind of called a shuttle, really getting people to and from the bus. And the bus is kind of the hub. And that's where people have to basically eat, catch up on sleep, live. It's a little bit like a moving hotel. And because we're not stopping and staying at hotels and locations at night, everything is rolling. So again, it goes back to the whole logistics of how do you manage all these moving parts.
Mark would know. We need more than this.
I know. I can only drink so much.
thought there were 2 dogs. Okay, my bad.
Everyone just rides your race. The only way we can finish is if everybody carries their weight, right? And their weight's going to be different. I mean, like, I'm a fat guy. I got a lot of weight to carry. In the daytime, if they're doing their job right, they're never going to leave you without seeing you. Hopefully, they're just like within a few hundred yards, leapfrogging always, and you can even like, hey, at that point, your partner gets out, gets on the bike, and takes off. You're not allowed to ride backwards on the course. Remember.
Everything or not? Mercedes Sprint.
Okay.
Oh,
Of
Brad's
the
up
roof
here
rack
working on the-
or roof at the rear. So,
Yeah.
yep.
So I was like trying to fucking move down there. That's what I thought.
Well, even then, look, that's got to sink all the way down. But
12:30, hard time. We're gonna start doing something called rock drills. For anybody not familiar, rock drills, basically the oldest time of warfare was basically get in a sand pit or a dirt pit and move rocks around the pit. General Mattis, when he did his invasion of Iraq, had his whole entire invasion party from the Marines line up, and they all were wearing different color jerseys, and they were the different tank battalions, armor battalions, movement battalions that were going through Iraq, and they did this like on a football field, parade field. So if it's good enough for them to go and kick some Iraqi ass, it's good enough for us. We're gonna go through a full, at least 24-hour period. So we're gonna walk through all the rider transitions, each one, so each rider gets their transition, so each vehicle gets their transition, and then the overall 2 transitions for the whole day into night and night into day. And we're gonna do that until we feel good about it.
Are we having trouble with it conceptually, or just people following?
That's what I'm saying. Like, the rider should not be getting on the bike. Tell them to walk the bike itself. Walk the bike.
Just drive ahead.
10 feet. I mean, literally 10, 15 feet per rotation.
We're gonna get in trucks. We're gonna get in vans. We're gonna have bicycles on racks. We're gonna move out east, and we're gonna go into some actual transitions, and then hopefully play through a 24-hour period mock-up as we do some transitions. Full crew, hopefully get the bus, so everybody's gonna be on there, and you're gonna act like you're doing the things that you're doing. So food crew, you're acting like you're going through your meal preps. So as we're going through this, you're thinking about how you're feeding people.
Sir, for each team is required passes. Oh wait, were we only going to send the?
But this is
Everybody, and you pick them up here.
the other.
Yesterday was a little chaotic. Things have been taking a lot longer than what we anticipated. The paperwork has been taking longer than anticipated. The bus breaking down was not something that we had planned before the race even started. We're tired. It's been long days. Just trying to figure this out. There's a lot of moving parts. People are understanding the instructions kind of at different levels because it's complicated. The logistics are not easy to understand, and so it's just been challenging that way. But I think we're all giving each other a little bit of grace and being understanding and just being there and very supportive of each other through all of this.
So for the riders, we are all here committed to make sure that you guys are safe and that you're fueled, you're getting the rest you need, and that you guys can crush and have a great experience during this race. And then for all the crew, it's the same thing. We've got to be there to support one another. So if somebody asks for some help, do what you can to help them.
I know you guys are all taking time away from careers, from families, so I just want to thank you all for your dedication, for Mike, for everything that you've done behind the scenes. This has been, it's been a big, big project. Just guys remember that this is more than a bike race. It's so much deeper and bigger than that. And so when we start to get down, just remember the true purpose, the true mission. It's more than a bike race.
So when things aren't happening the way you expect, try and seek understanding before judgment, and then find forgiveness if you feel like you've been wrong or whatnot, and then you're just going to, Charlie Mike, that means continue mission, right? We're all going to throw in our hands there and help out. Priority for those bunks in there are for our riders to get rest and for our drivers to get rest. So you're going to see bunks on the back left-hand side. The 3 of them on the back left-hand side are labeled for nav and drivers so that the drivers can make sure they get enough rest. The ones on the right are for the riders. Be courteous to one another. There aren't enough bunks for everybody, so we'll kind of get into a natural flow of things. And if the night shift finds something that works, please pass that word to the day shift as we're coming in here. Love all of you guys. Remember that all day long when I'm yelling at you. 1, 2, 3.
Personally, yeah, I mean, it was one of those things. I kind of got my own little space and relaxed, right, as I got closer to the start, right? But like right now, we're signing these posters, so I do like to do other things just to kind of get my mind off of it. But you know, as we get closer to the competition, you know, I'm kind of in my little zone. I can relate to these pre-race jitters, right? It's one of those things. I try to do things to take my mind off of it, go to a different space. But yeah, I do. It's real, but you know, you got to remember that I did everything I could up to this point to be prepared. So, you know, just got to put my best foot forward and go from there, right? So I can't do anything that's going to make me any faster, perform any better. It's just I got to take advantage of this opportunity, knock knock, and you know, do my best. But I can appreciate what the cyclists are going through today.
You know, the mission drew me to this. I've been involved with Ironman seriously now for over close to 20 years. That was kind of my passion after I got done playing in the NFL. I love it, and I still do love it, and I'll still be involved with that. This was a different challenge altogether, and really the reason I tackled it, or was convinced to tackle it, was this whole mission. You know, this idea of helping military veterans, spreading the word about, first of all, thanking our military veterans for what they do, and then knowing them, allowing them to know that there's resources out there to help them, because the transition out of the military into the real world is very similar to a pro athlete going out of the NFL or Major League Baseball or the NBA into the real world. We're used to the locker room environment. We're used to that close-knit family culture, and the military provides that for those guys. And when it's gone, it's gone. And I know the feeling. You feel lost. You feel lonely. You feel confused. And you need to kind of rebuild yourself, right? And re-identify yourself as to who you are. You're no longer Joe the Navy SEAL. You're Joe the civilian. But what does that mean? And for the first time in their lives, a lot of guys have to face that reality. And a lot of guys struggle with that. And so that the fact that this Team 1 Mile was dedicated to helping those guys got me to say, you know what, I've never done this before, but let me train my ass off and let me see if we can get this thing done.
I'm Steve Lewis, your Brooklyn neighborhood Olympian. You know about, of course, this is Team 1 Mile. We're doing this. This is the official way to sign the autographs. Let's do it. Friendly.
John didn't sign this one, but I suppose I can get that happening.
This isn't my first rodeo, but I have never done a bike race like Racing Across America before. It's kind of like comparing playing basketball to comparing playing baseball. Like both sports use a ball, but they're totally different. So Race Across America is kind of a different beast, and I'm really excited. But I'm grateful to be here too. Like, this is a dream come true, not only to do Race Across America, but also to be a part of this group of people. I've never been around this many amazing individuals in my life, and our chemistry is just like off the wall. So I know that we're gonna run into some problems though. Like, it's inevitable when you cross an entire country. Like, not everything is gonna go smoothly, but I know that with this group of people, we're gonna be able to get through anything. I don't know what that's gonna look like, but we'll do it.
I see John took that pose to another corner. We'll find out in 3, 2, 1. We'll let them roll out as soon as we get a drill fixed. You guys are on the road. Good to go.
So much traffic. Really dangerous for the riders.
You want to start south pedaling right now?
Yeah.
I got you.
I didn't want to be the weak link on this team. I'm the biggest guy on this team for sure, with the least experience in pure endurance cycling. And so I trained for 5 months leading up to this to get in the best shape of my life. So not only am I on the team, but I was a contributor to this team and helped the team, and in no way be a liability whatsoever. And there was a pretty high bar. There's a pro cyclist on this team, right? Ben is a very accomplished cyclist himself. There was a very high bar to get myself to a level where I could hang with those type guys, and I felt like do that because we couldn't accomplish the mission without first doing the race, right? I mean, it was we had to be in good enough shape to do this in order to spread the word about our mission.
Coming tight soon. Are you tight? Yeah. Straighten it out. Straighten it out. There it is.
Go for it.
Brother. Nice one. I'm just getting in. Yeah. It's hotter than hell, and it's windy as shit. There's literally U-turns going down a 18% grade. I'm like, holy cow! I was riding both brakes, and I hit over 50 miles an hour. You have to hold on for dear life. It's so exhausting. I'm like tense from all the way up my wrists to my forearms to my shoulders, and it like aches and it hurts, but you can't let go. It's like I've been skydiving 3 times, and I'd rather skydive than do this. It was less scary to skydive than do that thing. But it's fun as hell.